back to your favorite podcast, everybody, Girls Unscripted. My name is Carolyn.
And my name is Kate. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's so lovely of you to join.
Carolyn, just yesterday, you recorded the first episode of our new Girls Unscripted branch, The Bachelor in Paradise Recaps with Grace. How'd it go?
Oh, it went so great. I actually switched things up a little bit. I sat on your side.
I noticed. How did it feel? How did it feel over there?
It was different. I had to move shit around. I was like, how does she look at her computer and do this? So it was hilarious. I didn't realize the first episode, Kate, is 3 hours long. I know.
Oh, The Bachelor in Paradise? What?
Yes. But with commercials, if you took those out, it'd probably be 2 hours. But you know how ABC is. But we still got it to an hour. So it's still a normal podcast. But the first one's always hard, because we've never done a competition, I say that with air quotes, show where you have to introduce all the contestants.
That's a good point.
Because there's so many people that we have to go through and then you have this from Miami and him from her. But it was really funny. I have to edit it after this, but I can't wait to share it with everybody.
Oh, I'm so excited. I heard that, so I've watched one season of Bachelor in Paradise before. I actually really like the show. I heard though that they didn't do the fun slow motion opening credits scene.
We talk about this on the podcast, and Grace has a lot of insight into this too from being an unscripted producer. They did a brand overhaul with Bachelor in Paradise. They're leaning into the washed out Love Island brighter feel. And I think they're trying to be more Love is Blind-esque. And you get that feeling more, even their introductions, they're not as, like you said, they used to be goofy and self-aware. They're very Gen Z of Jessica, her big name comes up from the background and she does a sexy walk and that's it. It's not, they're trying to level it up a little bit, which is fun.
I think that's smart of them too, because they did take the hiatus, and now with the success of Love Island, people might just tune in. People who aren't typically Bachelor watchers might just tune in to Bachelor in Paradise.
And I don't know if you remember Bachelor Pad from back in the day.
No, I've never even heard of that.
Oh my God. Back in the day, there was Bachelor Pad, which is you were coupled up and in competitions at the mansion and stuff. But there was a point at the end where you could fuck your partner over and choose not to split the money and steal it. They're incorporating that into this season. So at the end, you can either choose $500,000 or love. But if I were them, I would just pretend to break up and then date them.
Right. Wow, that's really interesting. I like that. Yeah, Bachelor is just the one show. I can't do it all, but I have had a lot of people message me on TikTok being why don't I see any Bachelor in Paradise TikToks? Are you going to talk about Bachelor in Paradise? And it's been so awesome to be I'm not, but go tune into Girls Unscripted. They're recapping everything.
Tune the F in, because we're excited.
So I've been sending a lot of people your way. So hopefully we'll get some new fans. I think this is so great. So I'm really excited.
Yay! And the Valley just keeps going. Is it ever gonna?
That's what I'm saying. I kind of thought this episode we would see next week on the season finale. Yeah, but we didn't, which I also was expecting that too.
Yeah, they're just and next week on the Valley.
Speaking of finales though, we are getting the Love Island finale this Sunday, which I feel we just are getting started. I do feel now with the removal of Sierra, Elan and Zach are gone, we're kind of getting into the swing of it, and I feel what we're watching now in the last week of Love Island USA is typically what we would be seeing in the first week of Love Island, where people are really starting to get to know each other and date around and test out new connections. I'm let's not vote anyone out yet. Give us another week. I feel everyone's just starting to have fun.
I feel the same way. I'm I can't believe it's been, how long is Love Island? 6 weeks? 4 weeks?
I feel for them, it's about 4 to 6 weeks. I know the first episode was on June 3rd.
Man, okay. So it has been going around 6. It just feels like yesterday that they started and then we met Huda.
And then we met
God, now we're here. Sierra's gone. I love when they have to kick people out and there's no explanation. There is none. We all know why she's out, but we can't talk about why she's out, you know?
So Zach from Love Island, Zach with a K, that just got voted out around the same time that Sierra was removed, did say that the producers gathered them all together and said, unfortunately, because we don't really know what they were told and what they weren't told and what they even know. Apparently, according to him, he said that producer said, unfortunately, Sierra has broken some of the policies of our guidelines and she will no longer be here in the villa. And that's all the information we can give you. If you need anybody to talk to, come speak to us being the producers. And he also said that Nick was really upset when she left, and I found this next part to be interesting, but at the same time, he couldn't really be super upset or express how he was feeling about the situation because he still didn't know what she did or what she said.
Right.
So, and then Zach continued by saying, like, you know, you want to feel sorry for somebody, but at the same time, you really can't feel that sorry for them because you don't know why they got removed or what they said that was offensive. So to that, all that is to say that they don't know why she got removed, but they know that she did or said something offensive, but they just didn't explain what it was.
Well, and did you watch, who was the first girl that got sent home for this very thing?
Yulissa.
Did you see Yulissa talk about what they did to her?
I did. I
bet it was similar, but it sounded awful where they're like, they couldn't even tell her what. They're like, we can't tell you what, but there's a video that's resurfaced and you have to go home. And she's like, what the fuck is the video? And she even has to go back to the hotel and wait for 2 days without her phone, still not knowing what this video was. Like, I would be crashing out.
And she said she was crashing out. So it is interesting how they do it.
Yeah.
But overall, I will say are you caught up?
No.
How far behind are you?
Like 2 episodes. So I just saw Sierra leave last night.
Okay, so that's fine.
So Nick and Olandria, I'm hoping, like, fall madly in love within, like, 4 days.
So, and I will also say I am shipping Iris and Pepe.
Yeah! Love them together. Until now, it seemed like everyone hated each other. Mm-hmm. Like, even the friends, like, it used to be, like, last year, what was it, PPG or whatever? Yep. Like, the girls were just, like, so rallying for each other. They're just not that tight this time. I guess, like, Taylor and Ace are tight, but it just doesn't, it felt weird. And now we're getting into relationships.
Taylor, Ace, and Nick were all tight. But they, you know how like PPG was for Powderpuff Girls? Yeah. They're saying Taylor, Ace, and Nick are Ed, and Eddie.
I have not heard that. That's so funny.
But I agree with you. Like, other than that, I can't really decipher who are like the best friends in the house. Now, my favorite online theory, I don't know if you've heard this one, is that people think, I can't believe I'm even saying this. People think Sierra was a witch and she had a spell in the house, and that once she left the villa, the spell was lifted, and that's why everyone's happier now. There's more nuance to it that I'm not really going to get into, but the videos are so funny. I'm someone that I love to watch a video about like a conspiracy theory. Like, I just get sucked in. I always like to listen. So this conspiracy theory that Sierra was a witch, I'm all ears.
Yeah, maybe weirder things have happened. Weirder
things have happened for sure. I did start watching Love Island UK, and it was interesting because even in the first 2 episodes of the season, I'm like, oh, this is exactly what Love Island USA is missing. People are dating. I felt like this season of Love Island USA, everyone got paired up, and like that was that. They decided they had to put all their time and money into that couple. It's like, no. You can date around. You don't have to be linked to the person you're with on the first day.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I also feel like they were very shamey of if you did have a connection. Like Jeremiah, who was Jeremiah with?
Huda.
But after Huda.
Oh, Iris. Oh, and no. Andreina.
Yes, he had a connection, and Ace was like, that's messed up. That he has, like, isn't that what you're there to find? Like,
totally.
If you do find a connection, I don't think you should be punished for finding what you're supposed to be finding. It is, as they all say, it's not Friend Island, Love Island it is.
Well, Carolyn, I will not spoil anything because I know you're a couple episodes behind, but
please. Oh, I'm so excited.
Just wait. All I will say is finding love on Love Island this season seems to be a death sentence.
Oh,
and I'll leave it at
man.
that. And I'll leave it at that.
I got goosebumps, Catherine. So I literally do. I'm showing the camera. That's so cringe of me. Okay, moving on.
On that note, we should get into this episode of The Valley because boy was there drama.
Oh, yep. In fact, there was so much drama that it was The Cruise from Hell. Was that the name of the episode?
The Cruise from Hell, correct?
The Cruise from Hell, yes, ding, ding, ding. Oh, I get a
13.
Snickers.
It felt like a season finale type episode.
I know. I'm like, how much more can we develop these? I feel like we are really nailing these lines into the ground. Like, it feels like it should be ending soon, but who knows?
But they're not announcing it. So, yeah, really, who knows? So, like, the way that this episode starts is we get kind of like a flash forward of this big fight that takes place later on in the episode. And then we see 24 hours earlier. So it's building us up to this big fight that we know is going to happen. We start the episode at Kristen and Luke's engagement party outside in the courtyard. And Michelle and Brittany, I think, do make kind of a valid point. They say to Zach that they do think it's weird that Janet is in Hawaii but not invited to this engagement party. Now, granted, Janet did take herself out of it, but Zach wasn't going to invite her anyways. And they compare it to Zach not being invited to Big Bear. I think this was actually a pretty good point. They were basically saying, like, it's similar to the Big Bear thing. And Zach was like, don't bring Big Bear up. But basically, Janet did not invite Zach to Big Bear because it was her baby moon. Now, I think what Michelle and Brittany are trying to say is Janet shouldn't have been invited to Hawaii if it's for Kristen and Luke's engagement.
Yeah.
And it was very easy for them to not invite Janet to Hawaii because if you think about it, this is Danny and Nia's trip. And I'm putting that in quotes because that was the lie they told to get everyone there. Well, Danny and Nia aren't fucking friends with Janet and Jason right now. So it could have been very easy for them to not invite them to this trip. I don't know if it was a show thing or what. It just seemed odd. I understood their point here.
I think they didn't want to ruffle feathers too much with it. And if they ruffled feathers, it could get noisy and it could get out that this is what the trip is for. And I think they're trying to keep it on lockdown as much as possible, is my theory. And also, they were so right to not include Brittany in the engagement because she did exactly what they were scared to do, which is that she would tell Jax immediately and he would tell everyone else immediately. So I was like, good on you, Zach. Good call. It makes sense. Or
Zach
not
was
Zach,
right.
Luke. Yeah, Zach
Well,
and Luke.
all of them were right. I mean, Zach didn't tell either. Zach and Jasmine, they all knew it was happening and still didn't tell Brittany. And we do see in this scene a bit more of Brittany kind of being in like a shitty mood because she wasn't involved in the engagement, which you had mentioned last episode that she talked more about in the after show.
I know. Yeah, that's the only reason because I remember watching this episode and being like, girl, you can't be that salty about it. Like,
Because look at what happened. Exactly.
Like, it's not that big of a deal.
They're also all like annoyed. Okay, I'll just say this right now. I'm pretty sure like Brittany and Jasmine and all them were like fucked up. I think they had been day drinking all day. I could kind of tell because they were just getting mad at shit.
Oh,
like,
Brittany was like incoherent.
Right? Like she was really drunk at this engagement party. I only bring that up because I feel like they were getting mad at shit that like, I'm like, why are you even getting mad at this? And they were really annoyed that Danny and Nia went to this engagement party late. Like they were making comments like, oh, what are they napping again? Like they're obviously just not over the whole Santa Barbara trip. And then when Danny and Nia do eventually show up, they make a comment like, oh, look at them showing up after the bride and groom. Like, I just feel like they kind of hate them and I don't get it.
They talk about this on the after show. They're like, look, we were on a boat for 6 hours. God forbid we go take a shower. And of course, it's a he said, she said. Nia and Danny are like, end to end, we were gone for maybe 21 minutes. Right. Zach said it seemed about an hour and a half. Jasmine said there's no way it was an hour and a half. So, like, I think I do think Nia and Danny are getting, like, blown out of proportion a little bit of, like, dude, let them they were on the boat all day. Of course they're going to be a little bit late because, like, they've been in on I don't know, we're all working together here. We're a team.
Exactly. It's funny. I didn't watch the after show, but that's literally what I have in my notes. I said, they've been on a boat all day. Give them a fucking minute. Like they probably want to take a shower. I don't think that's crazy. And also, Aaron showed up late. And no one was mad at him.
Yeah.
And then the scene just kind of ends where, like, Zach does kind of go and tattle to Danny and Nia that, like, they were kind of talking shit on them. And Danny gets pretty annoyed and mad and is like, why am I going to go over there if they're talking shit? And basically Nia's like, Daniel, stop, protect your peace. Don't be petty, be above it, shut up. And, like, in this scene, I do think it was important for them to keep it in because although I am Team Danny and Nia in this, I feel like they are getting like the weird brunt of a lot of bullshit. I do see the dark side Danny tendencies in him when he drinks. Like, he does not seem like he is a fun person to be around when he's drunk.
You can feel the energy. It's definitely an energy shift. And we'll get to what Janet said later.
We're going to spend a lot of time on the later. Yeah. There's a lot to say. So they do like a post game in a hotel room after all of this. And it is awkward as fuck because they are in the room that is conjoined with Janet and Jason, the two people that weren't even invited to this party. Is there not another fucking room that they could have went in? Like, there's a million rooms. Why are they in this room?
Well, is anyone else in there now? Like, did Zach have to go in there or something? Or otherwise I don't understand why they were there. It was literally the same room.
Yeah, like, well, I'm saying, why couldn't they go to Jesse's room or Zach's room? Or, like, why do they have to be in the room that shared with Janet and Jason? All I'm saying is, like, this is one of the rare times that I do side with Janet and Jason, and I do feel that, like, their patience is really being tested because it's like they are trying to sleep in the same room that everyone's partying at, somewhere that they weren't invited to. Like, that would trigger something in me for sure.
Yeah, and on those trips, things get chaotic and people end up in rooms that you don't even know how we ended up in that room. So, like, I can understand that, but I don't understand why they didn't leave. Like, once they realized where they were, like, oh, wait, no, shit, this is Janet's room.
Right, exactly. So then it takes us to the next day. Kristen and Luke wake up. They've already got a glass of wine in hand. I respect them so much.
Hell
but
yeah.
This is where Kristen receives the text from Jax that says congratulations. Kristen has no idea how Jax knows about this. I mean, Kristen's family doesn't even know. So obviously she calls Brittany, and guess what? Just like we talked about last week, just like what everyone was afraid of that we've already talked about this episode, Brittany did exactly what we thought she was going to do. And she told Jax, and now Jax is basically spilling the beans.
Why would he do that?
What the fuck was she thinking?
Why would he do that? Why would he do that, Brittany? You know that's what he would do. What else would Jax do? What else would Jax Taylor do? Sit on it? Like, oh gosh, that was a lapse of judgment.
It was very interesting to then, I'm like, okay, now I actually see the brainwashed that Brittany is. Like, she really is that friend that, like, if I were friends with her, I'd be like, why do you keep going back to this dude? Like, you could tell, like, she is under his spell.
You could see Zach really press her on that later on the cruise. Like, are you going, but okay, sign the papers. You're going to sign the paper?
Yep.
Like, prove it, because I don't think they quite believe it.
Exactly. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
So then we have a scene in Janet and Jason's room where they are torn on what to do, right? Should they leave early? Are they supposed to just stay silent for the rest of the trip while everyone celebrates something that they're not a part of? I do agree that this is a very weird situation that they were put in, and it's just kind of setting it up for, like, the big blowout that happens at the end of the episode.
Totally. I don't think we should have been in this situation to begin with. I think Janet and Jason shouldn't have been invited. I think there was a big lapse. And like I said earlier, my only theory is that they didn't want to make too big of a deal out of it, because it is a big deal to not invite people. But like you said, Janet had no problem not inviting Zach to her baby moon. So maybe they should have had a little less problem not inviting Janet and Jason. Like, what goes around comes around. But who knows? So that's why I had some compassion for Janet when she was like, not compassion, a little empathy when her first response was like, okay, I'll see you back in LA. Because I also would be like, well, fuck, is the rest of the trip, I'm just this plus, I don't want to do that the entire trip. Like, I'd rather just like us officially separate and I'll see you later, you know?
No, totally. And it really is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where she's like, you know what, I'm just going to leave. And everyone's like, no, stop, you're being dramatic. Well, now she decides to stay, and they get in this argument on the boat later, and Kristen pulls this is my engagement party, how about that? And it's like, but this is like, Janet did not sign up for this. Like, I have to vouch for her on that.
Yeah, I know. I did feel bad for her in that regard.
Yeah. So then Kristen and Brittany have a little meetup, and Brittany does, like, very sincerely apologize to Kristen for telling Jax. And we do see a quick scene of Jax on the phone with Brittany saying, I'm sorry.
They also bring up in the after show, Schwartz apparently slipped Cruz's name before he was supposed to. So Jax was like, it happens. You know, he accidentally slipped Cruz's name. I slipped Kristen's thing. It happens. I'm like, Jax, you literally got on your phone and wrote this long ass thing to 30 ass people to be like, let's all bitch on her engagement. Like, it's different.
Yeah, so Jax sends this in the guys group chat, which, by the way, Kristen's ex-boyfriend is in.
Yeah. And that's what they were saying, things like, oh, that'll last 6 months. That'll do that. And like, so rude. Like, let her have her moment.
Exactly. But this meeting that Kristen's having with Brittany actually isn't even about Jax. Kristen wants to talk to Brittany about Janet. Kristen feels that Brittany should stand up for her just as much as Brittany stands up for Janet. But Brittany's thing is, she says to Kristen, you're strong and you can take up for yourself. I don't like that. I don't think that's a good reason to not be standing up for a friend. Like, just because I can stand up for myself doesn't mean I always want my friend to then stand up for the person that's going against me.
Yeah, and Zach said something about this in the after show that I thought was really interesting. He was like, look, Brittany doesn't push back on stuff Janet says to Janet as much as she pushes back on stuff. I would say because she knows I'm a forever friend and there's nothing she can say that would piss me off and make me not a friend. He knows, like, she knows that I'm around, and I think he was insinuating Janet's the type of person that if you piss her off, you're worried that your friendship is going to dissolve, which is like a toxic place to be.
Yep, or even worse, she's going to come after you in season 3 of The Valley.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. What in the closet is she going to claw out next?
So I do appreciate that Brittany does try so hard to keep the peace between her friends and stay friends with everyone. But I do feel like eventually she's going to need to step in here because Kristen is right. And like, it's not that Brittany needs to choose a side. It's that Brittany just needs to be like, Janet, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't need to tell Janet to do one thing or the other, and she doesn't have to publicly declare that she's siding with Kristen. She just has to tell Janet, like, you need to reel it in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Fair. What she says, well, I did say that, because she goes, Janet, come on. But that wasn't really. That's that's a throwaway side comment.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I would feel left alone, too.
Mm-hmm. Now it's the final night, and everybody is getting ready for this dinner cruise. How exciting.
So fun. I wanted to go. It looks so pretty.
It looked pretty, but pretty messy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on that boat in particular.
I'd want to be on the boat, like, next to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I can, like, listen and then laugh and drink.
100%. So they're boarding the Pride of Maui. Luke is wearing a slutty sailor outfit that leaves absolutely nothing to the imagination.
Oh my God, moose knuckling. I had no idea that was a thing. They talk about that in the after show. It's like camel toe for men.
Oh, they talk about it in the episode ad nauseum.
They do? Oh my God, hilarious. I was like, Luke, why?
Yeah.
Why?
It was more than I needed to know. First, okay, I could handle scrotox, but the moose knuckle, I'm okay.
And they kept just zooming in on his butt.
Yeah.
Like they loved his butt.
And it was the same shot, like
Yeah.
over and over. I'm like, if you're going to zoom in on his ass, like give me a different angle.
Give me a
please.
different angle. Yeah, I want to see a panty line or something. But
Yeah.
nah, gee, I've seen this.
So things are awkward on this cruise between Janet and Kristen. I do think Janet should have at least said congratulations to Kristen, and maybe she did and we just didn't see it, but it does seem like they're just not speaking
They
at all.
sent a bottle of champagne to Kristen's room with like a note that was like congratulations.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's very
Yeah.
nice of them.
To let them know they're thinking of them. Apparently, that was said, I guess, in the after show on one of the times.
And then, Michelle, I thought this was interesting to include. She describes her relationship with Jesse a little bit more. And she says he wasn't always a douche, but she says that not everyone can handle success and money. And basically with more money came more douchiness. So it was cool to hear her reminisce on what it was like dating Jesse in the early days, because it's rare that we ever hear the two of them say anything nice about each other.
And it just made me think, damn, how much money did they get? Like,
Yeah.
how much to see, like, they showed that one photo of him, like, in a one-bedroom apartment to, like, how he lives now. Like, what? Did he sell $10 million homes in 1 year? Like, where's the money coming from?
Right.
But good for him. Good for them if they got it, which apparently they've spent it. So not good for them. Who knows the truth on this? No one.
That's a really good point. Now we have a quick scene in Jax's condo where Jax immediately tells Tom Schwartz that Dodie is engaged. Like, doesn't even, like, wait a beat.
No. Yeah. No flinching. Just telling.
And Jax says, I can't keep a secret. That's one thing I'll never be able to fix. And we see a beautiful montage of flashbacks of Jax not keeping a secret.
And they didn't even I wanted them to do better flashbacks to like seasons 2 and 1. Where he was
they
like,
only did recent ones. You're right.
like when he would just spill like, I don't know, oh yeah, Kristen so-and-so slept. I don't know. I was like, this goes even further than this montage.
If we would have done a whole montage of all the times Jax has lied, it would have been a 4-hour long episode.
It's a whole episode. Yeah. They don't have the air time for that.
And 100%. And then just in this scene, Jax claims that he wants to put a pin in the divorce thing because he just got out of rehab and he didn't even get a chance to prove anything to Brittany. And he thinks that they should at least go to therapy together, which, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm sure she's been begging you to go to therapy for years and now you want to do it? Your time has passed.
Yeah, I love how Schwartz immediately shuts him down. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. And it even says, one of you is going to go to jail if you try to do that.
Right.
Which I just think is like, oh my God, he's so right. When Schwartz is the voice of reason, and we're in a scary place.
When it comes to Jax, Schwartz is the voice of reason.
Yeah, it is the only thing close to a voice of reason.
I actually just saw an interview with Ariana Madix where they asked her who the thirstiest person from Vanderpump Rules is, and she said Schwartz, actually.
Oh, poor Kay.
She didn't say who it was at first. And she goes, it's a guy. And they go, is he on a second Bravo show? And she goes, he's on multiple Bravo shows. I mean, think about it. Vanderpump Rules, The Valley, Winter House, Summer House. And then she goes, he's even been to space. Because he was on Stars on Mars. So I'm like, okay.
Stars on Mars, the only competition show I've never finished.
I loved Stars on Mars.
I couldn't finish it. It was so bad.
I loved that show. It was bad, but I fucking loved it. So now we're back on the boat. It is so funny to me that like everyone knows like we have to film this scene. This is a very important scene. But they're all so seasick. Like Zach is basically gagging in between sentences.
It was making me seasick to like watch.
Yes, the camera was moving. Like I actually did not feel well. I was so dizzy.
I was like, I don't like this at all. And they just on The Bachelor in Paradise, they just had a catamaran scene where it's the same thing. I'm like, could they give like a steady like a thing for the camera? Because I'm going to yak.
Right, put a fucking stabilizer on it. And this is the scene where Zach basically makes Brittany prove to him that she's not falling back into Jax's trap. And this is what a good friend is. Like, it might be tough love, but this is shit that she needs to hear.
Yeah, and she says, do we know, has she signed? Is it official? I assume yes.
I don't know, but I do assume yes.
Interesting. I'm going to Google that right after this.
I think for some reason something's telling me that everything will be finalized in July, and it is now July.
Oh, that's right. Something of like that.
Next, we have Michelle talk to Janet about Jenna, and Michelle is claiming that she's never really seen Jenna come around before, which is weird because you and I have been talking at length about how we've seen Jenna, so it's kind of crazy that Michelle hasn't seen Jenna.
They're like, whoop, there she is. Jenna been around the block.
You know, I actually posted a comment on some Instagram where I basically said, it's so funny how everyone's acting like they've never seen Jenna before when she's basically been on a lot of Vanderpump Rules and The Valley. Like, this isn't the first time she's been coming around, just what we've been saying. Yeah. And Jenna responded to that comment and said, thank you. So this must be some shit that she's dealing with internally as well.
The fame. Well, internal, I mean, the world saw it, so it's external at this point.
Right. It's like we're all seeing it. Like, it's nothing to hide. I don't know. It's interesting. So
I think Kristen didn't have to introduce herself to Aaron for the first time saying, hi, oh, you know Jenna? Like that was, but Kristen does say stupid shit.
Kristen does be doing stupid shit. Yeah, exactly. Michelle then basically accuses Janet of her and Sheena purposely bringing Jenna around, which then leads them to pull Zach to join the conversation. And Zach asks Kristen to go with him. Now, we know that that's a recipe for disaster.
That whole sentence was it's getting a little housewivesy of like, who is fighting for who, for what? And who are they coming? I couldn't keep track at this point what they were fighting about, but I knew it was bad.
What's
B-A-D.
hilarious that you say that, because my literal next note is, we then quickly forget about what this argument is even about because Kristen and Janet use it as an excuse to yell at each other.
Right. They were given the platform and they danced.
Also, we see them arguing back and forth for so long that we see a full sunset. It goes from light to dark. Like, if my calculations are correct, they had to have fought for about 25 minutes.
I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, production is probably like, fuck, we can't even ask them to like, stop. It's like, I need to put up lights. Like, no, don't do this. Like, hold 1 second.
Production's like, dude, I'm fucking working through my lunch break right now. Like, these bitches won't stop fighting. Yeah, the electricians are like, our lights.
I too noticed that. I was like, we are going from light to dark, people. This is a buckle up. This is going to be a fight.
So then, in the middle of this fight, it then turns into, I guess, them mentioning Danny and Nia. And then this leads to Janet saying that Danny sexually assaulted Jasmine and Melissa. Now, I actually may have used that word on this podcast before too, because it is kind of the thing to say, like, if he really inappropriately touched a girl's ass and legs without their permission or consent, sure. But I do think that Janet is kind of like, it's a bit of a cop-out for Janet to be like, well, I'm using the legal term because I have a lawyer husband. It's like, no, I do think you're actually using that term to make it seem a lot worse than they all think it really was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to see both sides.
Oh, no, she didn't need to say those things. I also agree. In this situation, when it's like an awkward gray area with such big terms like that, leave it to the people that were experiencing it, that are going through it, and let them tell their story. If that's how they felt, that's a different thing. But Janet just coming out of left field and being like, he sexually assaulted someone Kristen's right. That's a very damaging thing to say.
No, Kristen's absolutely right. And Nia's right too, of being like, Janet wasn't even fucking there for her to be throwing words around like that.
Had nothing to do with Janet.
And I agree with you. I 100% agree with Kristen's point of view. It does seem like by Janet saying this, she is attempting to ruin someone's life who doesn't deserve it, because this is a huge accusation to say on camera. You're calling someone accusing someone of SA on camera, right?
And the only reason she's saying it is because it's on camera. Like, that's why she's there. Like, she is weaponizing it. I think Nia used that word, which I liked. Like, it felt icky. It didn't have anything to do with Janet. Like, the parties involved have been very communicative. And even if they didn't feel like they were being enough, they even addressed that they weren't being enough community. Like, they've been through the ringer with this. So to just, like, throw it out like that. And if it were, I will argue, like, if it were anyone else, but of course Janet does that.
Yep.
Because that's the type of shit Janet does.
Exactly.
She just pulls shit out of her ass and then justifies it like a improv character. Like, it's just crazy. Like, no, well, that's the legal term. Sorry, I had to use it.
Yeah,
that's so awkward for you.
This is what I get for having a lawyer husband. I know the official legal terms for things.
Yeah, I did not. I felt icky watching that.
In that case, Kristen should have said, objection. Okay, that's my joke of the day.
Get it? Because it was like law stuff.
We then see a flashback of a scene we haven't seen before of Janet explaining to people that she had heard a story. Again, she was not there. But that Danny was with a group of girls who were fans. He was being inappropriate. She says he was making a group of women feel uncomfortable. He said, I have a weakness for hot girls in little skirts.
In the after show, they go through this too. And Janet's like, okay, Jason heard it. They go to Jason. Jason's like, I didn't hear it. She's like, I know Brittany heard it. They go to Brittany. Brittany says, I didn't hear that. They go through like 3 people and they all say, I didn't hear that. So I don't know where she came up with this. Who did hear it?
Zach is like, you know what, Danny? Let's go ask them about this right now. And I will say, Danny looked a little nervous. I think he was like, wait, what did I say?
He was, I agree. He looked like a deer in the headlights and like he was trepidatious. That's the word I would use.
Great word, legal term.
He was just inching over there like, okay, I guess.
Right.
Nia was like, oh, just do it. Be nice, but just do it.
Totally. So then they do go over and they confront Jason about it because I think Jason was the one that was there. And Jason was like, well, that's not like exactly what I heard or whatever he said, which then leads to Janet like totally skating around this. And yet again, turns this into a totally different fight about a bunch of different things. Like she's really good at skating around drama that she starts, if that makes sense.
It's because she's like Jax and the way that we say he has a bag of shit that he'll just bring out things at random times. She's really good to like scapegoating situations with like, well, you said this little girls in skirts thing and you said that you sexually assaulted someone. It's like, that's not even what we were talking about, Janet.
Exactly. So the boat ride ends and Janet does say like, you know what? I wish Kristen the best. I'm staying away from her, which is exactly what Janet needs to do right now. Just shut the fuck up.
Yes.
But Kristen's still mad, obviously. So as they're walking off the boat, we hear Kristen say to Janet, don't make me knock you out. Which is so amazing. Like, Kristen is mad. Like, her blood was truly boiling.
It was like her face was red. Like, her blood pressure was up. Not safe when you're trying to conceive. Like, we needed to get her to calm down.
Definitely.
And then she yelled at her, you're a fan, bitch.
Yeah. This is where we get the iconic line, you're a fucking fan, bitch.
And where it comes up yet again, is Janet indeed just a fan?
Yes and no. I only know Janet's side of the story, but I do think it's an accurate side of the story. She talks about this on Vial Files where she said, yes, I watched Vanderpump Rules. Obviously. She was like, I think most people watch Vanderpump Rules. And I was in LA and I saw Sheena at the Mondrian. And I went up and said hi to her because I was a fan of Vanderpump Rules. Now, that then led to Sheena and I becoming friends. She said we had a really genuine talk that day. We were both young and divorced and had a lot in common, and we became friends. But Janet doesn't deny that she initially went up and talked to Sheena because she was a fan of the show.
Here's the nuance to it that Zach and Jasmine say happened that she's not admitting to. She only went to the Mondrian because she knew Sheena was there.
Yeah.
And like, it's such a stupid small thing, but I think in their mind that's like, see? That's exactly what she wanted to happen.
Like she was searching to become friends with them.
Yeah, like she knew. And they asked him on the after show, do you think Janet is friends with y'all just to be on the show? And Brittany's like, no, I mean, I put her name down. She didn't even ask to be put her name down, but Zach was like, I think she did want to be friends with these people for whatever reasons. I don't know. I think it's an and. Like, I think she was a fan, and I think you're not friends with someone for 10 years if you're not actually friends with them.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I agree. I also think maybe it wasn't how Janet and Sheena met wasn't super honest at first because Kristen even says in this episode, like, I didn't learn till later that she was a fan of Vanderpump Rules. And like now it feels a little creepy to me.
And in the after show, Janet does say, I'm a millennial who watched Vanderpump Rules. There are lots of me. Like, that is true. It's hard to be millennial and not have watched Vanderpump Rules.
She says that in the Vial Files interview as well, and even goes as far as to say, I think if you say you are unaware of the show or have never heard of it or have never seen an episode, that's actually weirder.
That's true. And they say there's one person in the Valley that holds true for. And guess
it's
which
Michelle.
person? Michelle.
Yeah, she said that on Vial Files too. Hey, her story's consistent, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she has a lawyer.
And she has a lawyer. She has
trained.
An at-home lawyer. The last line we hear in this episode after Kristen says, like, you're a fucking fan, bitch, is Janet saying, there's a reason it's crazy Kristen and not crazy Janet. I do just want to say I think that soundbite was pulled from a different situation and they just put it in there right after Kristen called her a fan to kind of emphasize the fact that she's a fan and knows of crazy Kristen. Yeah. So I don't think that that's actually what she said after that, and I just wanted to say that here.
Who knows? But you know what she did actually say right before that, which was rude as... This is the rudest thing I think she said all night, is when she tapped Luke on the back and said, congrats on forever.
Yes.
Dude, now that was... I mean, there was no reason. That was just low. There's no reason at all. Like, She just shoots herself in the foot.
Like, her saying that is the equivalent of being like, good luck living with that for the rest of your life.
Like, I was surprised Luke shook that off. Because, I mean, I was pissed for
I bet you
her.
it didn't register to him what she had said.
Yeah.
If this fight taught me one thing, it is that my favorite part of the Valley is that when you fight with someone, you are not just fighting with that person. You are actually fighting with two people. Because, like, they are all so intertwined. Like, if you get in a fight with Nia, you're in a fight with Danny. If you get in a fight with Janet, you're in a fight with Jason. If you get in a fight with Luke, you're in a fight with Kristen. Like, they ride for each other. You're not just getting a one-on-one fight. Everybody's joining in.
No, and that is a pro of being a relationship can also be a con of being in a relationship. But, like, your fights are now his fights.
In Jason's case, it's a con.
Yeah, he oh gosh, poor Jason. But he doubles down. Even in the after show, he's doubling down that Janet had no choice. She was cornered to say all that stuff. Like, he's still singing her song. So good for him.
That's so interesting. I want to say something that might be controversial, and I know our gabbers are not going to like this, but
oh no.
I feel like Sheena should be a main cast member.
Interesting.
Just because I feel like she's involved in a lot of this stuff, and like she is actually like really good friends with them, and a lot of the drama does come from her. Like, whether she's on a show or not, she's a fucking drama queen. So I'm like, just put her on the show so we can ask her directly, because she's the big issue with all this Jenna shit. That's
such a good point, Kate, because even though she's not there, she's talked about her like, it's coming out of everyone's mouth. Like, she is there. She's just not physically there. So why not have her there? Because everything, you're right. The drama with Jenna has to do with Sheena. Janet being friends with Sheena is what having to do with Janet and Sheena. Like, you're right. Just have her on.
Dude, the fucking ghost of Sheena lives on through the Pride of Maui, and it would be interesting to have Sheena there because she would be so far up Janet's ass. Like, I do think she would really ride for Janet in these situations, and it would be interesting to have like Kristen and Nia versus Janet and Sheena.
Yeah.
Because Sheena is like Brittany in the sense that she tries to play the middle, but Sheena does choose sides. And
totally.
then she regrets choosing that side, and she doubles back on choosing that side. So I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see her on the show a bit more.
Well, that's why I like watching the after show too, because Janet explains that whole situation with Sheena right next to her. So it's interesting seeing how Sheena's responding, and Sheena's like, yeah, none of this is a surprise. Like, I know, like, Sheena's like ride or die for Janet.
Oh yeah, and I bet Sheena sits right next to Janet and is like, yep.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
Lots of nods. Exactly.
I just got an email from a company asking me, which obviously I immediately said yes, if I want an early copy of Sheena's book.
Bitch, oh man.
I know you've had that shit on pre-order for a long time.
I paid like $43 for that.
It's going to be worth every penny though. I'm actually really excited about it.
I'm like, that's going to be the best surprise whenever it does get on my doorstep. Be like, yes,
She's
time.
Really doing like a lot of press and promo for it. When is it supposed to be out?
I think I looked it up in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
I have a feeling it's not going to be as VPR heavy as we think, because in this email, how she described the book to me is an intimate memoir that delves into everything. Oh, I guess maybe it will be. From the origin story of Vanderpump Rules to Sheena's struggles with fertility and pregnancy loss, and behind-the-scenes moments that were left on the cutting room floor. So I guess a little bit of everything.
That's so funny. In Bachelor in Paradise yesterday, Grace talks about how she's read every memoir from every Bachelor-related person, which is like 20 books.
Yeah, it must be a lot.
Yeah, and the only one she hasn't was a fictional book that Chris Harrison wrote himself, and so she's still on the list. But yes, I want to sit down and read everyone's, because aren't there others out there?
So I have read Kristen's
Stassi's.
And I have read Lala's. I actually don't think I've read Stassi's. But I will say Kristen's is a skip for me. It doesn't really say as much as I wanted to say about Vanderpump and stuff.
Anything.
But I would highly suggest give them Lala.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe I'll take some.
A lot of BTS. And at the time that it was written, though, she was with Randall. So it's interesting to hear her praise Randall. But now, looking back, I understand why she was with Randall. Because he did a lot for her financially.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
what and at a time when she needed it most because her dad died, So I don't know. I enjoyed reading Lala's book as a Vanderpump Rules fan. I enjoyed it.
I love that. Good for her. I may snatch that up.
Did Grace say what her favorite Bachelor memoir was?
Yes, and I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Hannah Brown's.
Okay.
She really liked Hannah Brown's for some reason.
People love Hannah Brown.
Yeah, they're all ghostwriters, so it's like...
So they're all good.
So they're all good, exactly, yeah. Sentence structure is great.
So do you guys have like a day of the week you're trying to release so our gabbers can know? Like, for example, I don't know if you guys have caught on, but we try to release our Valley episodes Thursdays or Fridays. Sometimes it's Saturdays. Like, it's really wherever the wind blows us.
We're on the exact same wavelength of like, oh, it'd be great if we get out today. We're not going to because I haven't had a second to, I just walked through the door and did this. So, like, it'll be tomorrow. So, but we'll try to get out on Wednesdays. Sometimes it'll be Thursdays. Sometimes it'll be Fridays. That's just how it goes. Yeah.
That's we don't play by the rules here on Girls Unscripted because we make our own rules. And the first rule is there are no rules.
Hell yeah, that's right. That's all I gotta say about that.
And on that note, I think we're done.
I think we're done here. So we can sign off and tell our gabbers how much we love them and appreciate them and are so thankful for them and just implore that you rate, subscribe, like. Any action is positive action. I don't think that's it, Kate. Kate's trying to do the
Gen Z heart.
thing.
It's
No,
really it's like this, right?
No, it's this.
What the actual fuck, dude? That
It's
is
hard
so...
to do. My hands are shaky, so they don't really do it well. But like, you have to put up. Yeah, that's it. It's really muscle memory. You have to just keep trying.
Just fucking do the two hands.
Yeah, I know. I'm fine showing my age these days. My teacher today, in Growlings was like, I used to be on the show, y'all probably don't know it, called Punked. I was like, Jordan, you need to tell me who all you punked right now. It was so funny. So I'm going to go look up his punked episode.
Wait, is his name Jordan?
Jordan Black. Mm-hmm.
I want to look at I was obsessed with Punked.
And it's so
Oh
funny.
my God. Yeah, wait. No, this guy on like Mad TV too.
Yeah. He was on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this guy's huge. That's a great teacher.
He's the best. He's my favorite.
Wow, very cool. All right, Starstruck.
With that, go watch Punked and support independent podcasters. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, Gabbers.
Bye.